Your feet hip width apart. Just wiggle your toes. And then just to kind of start to take the weight, we're going to go forward. So just take the weight onto your toes and you find you scrunch your toes and then just rock it back towards your heels. So I'll show you sideways on as well. You're just going to rock forwards. Take your shoulders over your knees and then rock back. It's a really small move. Starts to just engage the toes. Lift up the arches underneath the feet. And then as you're doing this, then let's just start to soften the knees and find the pelvic floor. So pulling in on the pelvic floor. Start to draw in that TVA. Get that lift on the rib cage. Take the shoulders back. Still drifting forwards and still taking it back. Find the length at the back of the neck. So start thinking about the crown of the head now, lifting up towards the ceiling. So bring it to center and let's find pelvic floor TVA. Pull in 100%. Try not to hold the breath. So just holding it still. Try and keep that lift on the rib cage. Big squeeze. And then take a slow release. And then we're going to go again. Pelvic floor. The front bit and the back bit for that. So make sure you tuck your pelvis under. TVA pulled in, squeezing in. Pull that tummy button back to the spine. Check that you're breathing normally, not holding the breath. Keep squeezing. And slow release. One more. Pelvic floor TVA. Let's pull in. Keep that lift on the rib cage. Shoulders relaxed. Big squeeze. Take it down to 50%. So the engagement's there. The pelvic floor's drawing in. There's a little bit of pull in on that TVA. So we're going to just lift up that shoulder, that arm up level with your shoulder. Ear down to shoulder, neck release. Relax the shoulders. Reaching out to the side. Get the squeeze in the side. Recenter, lift. Take it over. I know I pretty much do this one every week. My favourite. And then release. Same side. We're going to go same side 4 times. Lift. Ear down to shoulder. Then take it across. Try and keep the hips still here. Keep the knees soft. Recenter. Lift. Hand on hip. Then work into that side bend. Think about this arm here reaching up. Let's try and get it nice and straight. Nice and straight. So it's almost coming out of that armpit and then stretching up. And release. 2 more. Lift. Ear down. Just get that neck released. And reach. Recenter. Lift. Still pulling in that TVA, that pelvic floor. Take it over. If you want to add in, just circling that bottom hand. Stirring the porridge. Other way around. And release. Last one. And lift. Ear down to shoulder. And reach. Keep those hips still. Knees soft. Recenter. Lift it over. Get this arm nice and straight now. Right through those fingertips. If you want a little bit more spiral heart to ceiling. So we're kind of looking up. Really working at kind of into the chest as well there. Opening out that rib cage. Check you're not holding the breath. And recenter. I'm going to go to the other side, so it's lift. Enough space. Ear down to shoulder. And reach. Put in that pelvic floor TVA. Recenter. Take it over. I had my vaccine yesterday, so this arm literally doesn't work. And recenter it. And again, lift. Ear down. Let's work into the neck. Pulling in that core, reach. Try and keep those hips still. Recenter. And lift. Arms straight on this one, so really work with those fingertips. Arms straight, reaching up to the corners of the room. And release. 2 more. And lift. Ear down to shoulder. And reach. Hips still. Recenter. Get that arm straight. Let's work through those fingertips. That bottom arm if you want. Just circling. Stirring the marmalade. Other way around. Reaching those fingertips to the corners of the room. And release. Last one. And lift. Ear down to shoulder. Are we pulling in that pelvic floor? Recenter. Take it over. This time you're spiraling heart towards ceiling. Thinking about that rib cage and getting that stretch. Try and get that arm nice and straight. Reaching up. Try not to look at the screen as of now. Just see if you can take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling. Are you breathing? And release. Shoulders now then. So I'll show you sideways. I'm going to go shoulders forwards, like really bad posture. Shoulders forwards, chin down towards chest. And then shoulders back. Take your palms out to the sides. Maybe even looking up. And then again, shoulders forwards. So it's almost like a neck release here as well. Looking down, chin to chest, and then kind of looking up, almost slightly taking the head back. And then again, shoulders forwards. Soften the knees, check the feet are parallel, tuck the pelvis under, shoulders back. Adding in then if you want, so shoulders forward, slide the hands down the legs. Starting to release the lower back, hamstrings, chin to chest, breathing out, slowly uncurl, take the arms around the body, lift them all the way up, prayer up above the head, looking up. Press away the air, shoulders down, chin to chest, breathing out, slide the hands down. Those super slow roll downs, 2 more. Breathing in, lift up the rib cage, looking up, still pulling in that core to protect lower back. Breathing out, chin to chest, release the lower back, maybe feel those hamstrings. Exhale, breathing in, looking up, last one. Breathing out, press the air away. Slide the hands down, chin to chest. Breathing out, uncurl. Okay, scapulas then now, so that's the backs of the shoulders. So tuck the elbows in, palms up. Then I'm going to give you a challenge then, so I'm going to see if you can do this on standing on one leg. So just lifting up the foot, standing on one leg, scapula. Just take a check now that you're going to tuck the pelvis under on this. So even in your balance, tucking that pelvis under, you might find on the balance that you've got to squeeze the glute, right? Take the thumbs out to the backs of the room. Try and keep the elbows into your sides. You feel the shoulders squeezing together. Take a little check here. Pelvic floor still in, TBA still in. Swapping legs, so just take it over, use your big toe on your balance. Squeeze your glute for the balance 2. 4 more. Try not to look down, so you still want to think about the crown of the head going up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, take the thumbs back. Last one. And release. Going to go into our squats now. I'm going to take the camera down slightly. So we're going to add to these, but you might want to be towards the front of your mat, the long ways front of your mat. Feet hip width apart, wiggle your toes, just get the arches lifted underneath the feet. Take the hips back, reach the hands forwards, nice and slow. Squeeze the glutes and lifting back out. So I know you're right, so I can see you. And rise. And then again, coming down and watch those knees, check the knees don't pronate in. I want you to feel which parts of your feet are kind of working here. So are you using your big toe? Can you feel the outsides of your feet, the little toe? See if you can kind of equal weight now over the feet when you come down onto your squats. Squeeze those glutes to left. Still pulling in pelvic floor TVA. Breathing in to rise. So a little add-in coming up now then. So we're going to squat down. And then you're going to come back up, step back to a lunge. Then the arms go up just like your squat. And then you step back up. Tee down a little bit. So squat down. Lifting up. Step back. Into your lunge. Step back up. Into your squat. So it's really interesting because when you go into the lunge, what happens to the knee, right? Like the knee wobbles like crazy. So think when you reset into your squat, fire out the glutes, control the knee so that when you go into your lunge, you've got that control. You can take a really nice big stride back, however you feel, right? Always resetting in that squat, so keep pulling in the core. Three left. Keep those feet hip width. You want to feel the big toe. You want to feel the little toe working. The arch engaged. Last two. We're synchronized. I'm trying to go with you. Release. Okay, going to go into our calf raises in a minute, but I'm just going to give you a little calf walking circuit. So this is for the feet. So you want the length of your mat here. So we're going to walk, to start with, we're going to curl up your toes, and then we're going to walk on the outsides of the feet. This is like a massage for the feet. So your big toe doesn't really touch the mat here. Walk on the outsides of the feet. So it's like a massage for the tiny little muscles here. Turn around, then walking back. So just again, the big toe should be lifted. Walk on the outsides. And maybe you can start feeling this in places in the glutes. Still pulling in the core. Then you're going to go on the inside. So lift up the little toes. So the knees almost are kind of rotating in on this one. But just treat it like a massage, particularly up around the hips. You might feel this. On the outside of the hips. So see if you can, big toe is engaging, little toes lifted, take it back. It's quite nice, I can feel that, I can feel that up in my hips and my pelvis. Next one then, lift up all of your toes, 10 toes, so if you can walk on your heels. So this in itself is a balance, right? Just working on your heels, lift your toes, and maybe you can feel this in your shins. So it'll engage those muscles there. Take it back. Try not to let the toes touch the mat. Okay, so now we're going to take it one step further. We're going to go onto the outsides of our feet, so the little toes, but lift up the heels as well, so it looks a bit like this. So we're lifting up the heels, and we're going to the little toes. And then try and walk forward. So we're kind of working a little bit more ankle strength now. So the heels are lifted, and we're kind of working on the little toes. Still pulling in core. So maybe now you can feel this on the outsides of the lower leg. So again, really good strengthening, like multi-terrain running, stuff like that. So then switch that, so then we go down onto the big toes, and then lift up the heels. So you work with the big toes, try and keep that little toe lifted, lifting up the heels. Again, should feel it around the shins, around the ankles, stretching around the feet. Same again, maybe in the glutes and hips. Last one then, I'll show you forwards on this one. So feet hip width apart, And then all you're going to do is scrunch up your toes and try and move forwards. Scrunch up your toes and try and move forwards. Scrunch up your toes and move yourself forwards. It's actually like kind of hard. Scrunch up your toes and move forwards. And like, it's almost like a move in the calf muscles. Scrunch at the toes, almost use your feet to move yourself forwards. Kind of tricky. You might feel it in the glutes, so I'm going to do that one again for a little bit longer. So just some really nice foot stretches. Maybe you can incorporate these once a week, possibly. When you're walking barefoot as well, it's really good for you. Just a couple more. Brilliant. Okay, so we've strengthened a little bit our feet. The feet are all woken up. So let's just have a go now. Standing on one leg, so put the balance over to one side. Squeeze the glute pull in pelvic floor. And then just see if you can close your eyes. Let's hold for 10 seconds. So we've kind of woken up all the muscles there in the foot. Just bring the breath down here. So really steady the breathing. Seeing lots of dogs on the screen tonight, that's nice. And then we'll switch that over to the other side. 10 seconds. Squeezing the glute, pulling pelvic floor. See if you can close your eyes. Using the big toe, using the little toe. And then just 10 on each side then. So if you want to hang on to something, hang on to the wall or something, but otherwise just lifting up through the heel and lower. Just lift and lower. So we're going for that calf raise, lift and lower. Check now, you've got pelvic floor in, you're squeezing through that glute. You're almost kind of working a bit of a scrunch on the toes. Just counting your 10. Just a little lift. It doesn't have to be like Leeds on a Saturday night high heel lift. Ready to switch onto the other side. Again, glutes squeezing, pelvic floor lifting. Five more. I'm on 5 more.
Go ahead.
Okay, so last little balance I've got before we go down to the mat is kind of hamstringy kind of here. So show you sideways on again. So we're just going to lift. We're going to go to a high knee lift. I want you to think about pulling in pelvic floor. If you want, you can take it up on to lift the heel slightly, and then you're going to reach down, opposite hand to foot, maybe touch the floor, maybe touch your knee, then recenter it. So it's lift, then we're reaching down, we're either touching our knee, or maybe going towards the floor and a touch. So you could swap sides, which is actually harder because then you've got to recenter, restabilize. So up to you if you want to work one side or whether you want to go for the switch. And then you've got to use that core to restabilize. So reaching opposite hand, we're thinking about kind of running here, walking, opposite hand drives. Oh. Reaching down. And what we're doing here is we're kind of taking the hamstrings and we're working it eccentrically. So we're slowly making it strengthening and lengthening at the same time. So using all those balance techniques, that big toe, squeeze the glutes, pull in the pelvic floor. Four more. Into that lift, squeezing glutes. Take a check when you're lifting into that high knee, we're not arching the lower back. And the last one, it's a lift. reach. My balance isn't very good on that.
That one's hard though.
Coming down to your downward dog there, let's all meet down there. Get your hips lifted up towards your ceiling. Looking back towards your knees, take your chest towards your thighs. Spread your fingers, almost spiraling biceps towards each other. Then maybe you want to like press down one heel and then the other. Take a stretch out there for the calf muscles. If you want to progress, just take a one leg lift. Lifting that leg up to the ceiling, turn the leg out to the side. Hip opener, calf stretch. And then just switching that over. You don't need to if you don't want to. Maybe you just like your downward dog, lifting up your hips. You can always bend the knees. Try and get your arms around your ears. 2 more breaths. Really filling out the chest, the belly with air. So from there, come down to all fours. Just have to adjust that slightly. You can see my mat. Here we go. We're going to work like that. Pretty good. Okay, so hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Pelvic tilt if you need, just find yourself in neutral, pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA. So we're going to go for a nice standard move here, but we're going to work with long levers. So right arm, low handshake, left leg, extend. Breathing out, lift. Long levers here, straight arm, straight leg, lower and lift. So quite small movements, lower and lift, but you should really feel the work, the lengthening there through the left glute. And lift. Let's see if we can get that left leg nice and straight. Maybe pointing toes as well if you want to. And the focus there is keeping those hips still. Use that pelvic floor, use that TBA. So if we can get this right arm up level with that shoulder. I've got a plant tickling my foot. And lower. 3 more. Breathing out left. Breathing in low. You should feel this on the glute. Breathing out left. Breathing in lower. Last one. Lift. And lower. And then we'll go over to the other side. So left hand extend, low handshake. Nice long levers here. Extend right through the fingertips. Right leg extend. Breathing out left. Breathing in lower. Firing that right glute here. Lift. And lower. Try and keep these levers nice and long and straight. Hips are still. Put in that pelvic floor. Shouldn't be arching there in the lower back. Pelvis shouldn't be moving in this move. And lower. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in lower. 4 more. Eye gaze going just to the front of that mat. Crown of the head shining forwards. 2 left. Squeezing that right glute. And lower. And lift. And lower. So just come back to your all fours position. And we're just going to go like a nice flow move here. So just take your hips over to one side, over to the left, then bring them forwards, and then all the way around to the right. Take them back in space, and then take it all the way around again. So just a big circle here with your hips. Kind of a nice release for glutes and hips here. And a little bit of upper body work, because we take the weight there over our hands. All the way around. Really work right into the corners. So we're really kind of working almost like water filling out space. Filling out all the spaces around the body. Last time. So just turn so that the hands are facing towards the knees. We'll take a quick wrist stretch. So hands are facing the knees. Just take a quick stretch here. I don't know if you've been on your phone or typing, I don't know, wrists can get pretty tight sometimes. Just take a stretch here, check that you're not holding your breath. Again, stay nice and neutral. Few more breaths. And then we're just going to step forwards with the left foot. So we're going to take a low lunge, lifting yourself up. Just a nice hip flexor stretch there. Let gravity just send the hips down, but then still drawing pelvic floor and TVA. A little stretch for the shoulders, interlink the fingers behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can really work at lifting up the rib cage. Try not to arch in the lower back too much. Juicy hip flexor stretch. Looks like I've got a leg sticking out my back. Take the arms up towards the ceiling, just flick away the fingers. Flicking them away. Flicking the wrist, flicking the fingers. And then we're going to just switch legs. So lift, bring the right foot forwards. Check you've got a nice hip width there. Don't want to be on a balance beam. Again, pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. Get yourself nice and upright. Let's go back to just squeezing those shoulder blades together again. Lift up the rib cage. Still drawing in the core. Just enjoy lengthening out hip flexors. Sometimes when they get tight, like the lower back can get tight, quads will get tight, knees will get tight. One more deep breath. Then just lift, take the arms up over the head again, just flicking again. Flicking the fingers, flicking the wrists. It's really hard actually that, isn't it? Okay, so from there we're going to come down onto our fronts. And we're going to work with our swan dive. So cactus out your arms. So you've got your elbows level with your shoulders, hands are level with your elbows, forehead down to the mat. Start to draw in the pelvic floor, breathing out, lift head and shoulders, keep the eye gaze down, breathing in lower. This is your number one posture now, posture move. Working with the top of the spine. You want to really shine the crown forwards. So we're not lifting our head on this. Breathing out lift. Breathing in lower. Now notice if you're really pressing down with your hands. So if you can go like feathers here, really lightly touched with the ground on your lifts. Adding in if you want, lifting up the arms, the hands. We're still shining the crown forwards. We're tucking the chin in and lower. All the time engaging through the core. Pick the tummy button up off the mat. Try and relax the lower body here. So shouldn't be kind of squeezing the glutes crazy on this. Final add in then, breathing out left. Breathing and then breathing out, reaching those arms forwards, extend. Back to those cactuses and lower it down. 3 more, whichever one that you're working on. Really think about like those extensions, those long levers, straightening out through the arms, the fingertips. Last one. Breathing out left. Breathing in and breathing out, extend. Cactus. And lowering it down. Pressing into the mat, then lift yourself up. We cat stretch it out. So tuck the pelvis under, pull your tummies in. Chin to chest, look back towards your knees. Just find the space between the shoulder blades. Send the breath just to that spot. So those chest breaths, nice and high, almost towards the neck. One more deep breath. So from there, go to our plank, so elbows underneath your shoulders. Put in pelvic floor, put in TVA, maybe you pelvic tilt with that, then lifting up the hips. Let's just release the fingers, maybe we're gripping there. Try and keep this crown of the head shining forwards. Keep that long spine. If you want a little bit more, straightening one leg, straightening the other leg. And then maybe you could go bend, bend, straighten, straighten, bend, bend, straighten, straighten. Keep working at that. And notice what's happening with the hips. So really work at keeping the hips still. Maybe you feel a stretch there on the arches underneath the feet as well. Keep working. Hips are still. Keep pulling in pelvic floor TVA. Getting a tour of Joe's house.
You make me laugh like a little bit.
Don't laugh whilst you're doing the plank. 4 more. Lift, lift, lower, lower. 3. Check that you're not holding your breath. Last one, lift, lift, lower, lower. Release it back down. Perhaps we do one more. Should we do one more of them? Maybe not. Just
Yeah,
looking at
I
everyone.
think it's fun.
That's a yes, okay. Okay, let's go again. Pelvic floor and TVA and lifting up the hips. Check you're not arching in the lower back here. Really with TVA, the tummy button, really go for a big squeeze there. And again, lift, lift, lower, lower. Keep it going, lift, lift, lower, lower. Just notice now, you're always doing the same leg foot first. Let's switch it. So lift on the other leg, and lift, and lower, and lower. Keep it going, hips still. We're not arching in the lower back. Keep breathing. Lift, lift, and lower, and lower. 4 more. Keep breathing. And 3. And 2. Last one. Lift, lift, lower, and lower. Sit back towards your version of child's pose. So whether it's all the way down to the heels, or maybe you're like a bit more in your puppy dog. You decide. Maybe make a diamond shape, so draw your thumbs together, your index fingers together, place that diamond down on the mat in front of you, press a little wiggle side to side. See if you can just take your forehead down to the mat. Send the breath down to the belly. 4 deep breaths. So you're filling out that lower back with air. Last one. Okay, so we're going to move on to our side now. Let's just do a little time check. Okay, so come down onto your side. Pick a side. We're going to start with the clam. So if you bend the knees, I think I missed this one last week. I think I did some other stuff. So let's go back and do a clam. Lift the heels up level with the hips or higher, depending on what you can get to. Just check the top hip sits over the bottom of that bottom one. Lift the top knee and lower. Lift and lower. Let's go for the glute med, so the side around the back of the bum. Lift and lower. Take a double check now. Pelvic floor in, TVA in. Breathe out, lift. Breathing in, lower. Also check you're not arching here in the lower back. So again, we want to be in neutral. Sometimes that's kind of harboring on our side, but you should find it by pulling in that core, where you should find your neutral here. 4 more. Lift and lower. 2 and 1. Straightening out the legs then. This one you can nicely line yourself up with your mat. Starting to lift the top leg, pull in pelvic floor. Lift the bottom leg. Really nice full body. Lift up the rib cage. Bring that arm up and over. Work with your balance. And release it back down. 3 more. Lift. Lift. Just go for nice long straight levers. Rib cage left. Take it all the way up and over. And lower. 2 more. Lift. Lift. Rib cage. Feel that connection all the way down the spine there. And over. And release. Last one. Lift. Lift. Rib cage. Pull in pelvic floor. Take that arm up and over. And release. Top leg then, lift it to hip height. Flex this foot. Press down this hand in front. So there's a little bit of a shoulder move. Kick that foot forwards. Point the toe, bring it back. You got a face?
Yeah, I'm hitting your ass.
Let's work. So that flexing the foot, really working into the calf muscle, the ankle. Should feel the glute.
Sorry.
Don't mind, it's okay.
I'll make this far.
4 more. Adding in if you want, spiral upper body, hands behind your head, drop that elbow, big spine twist. And then touch that elbow in front. Still working with that flex and point, see if you can get that hamstring 90 degrees. Last one. Nice little work into the chest. And release. Switch it, then we're going to go over onto the other side. Starting with the clam. Lift those feet up, level with the hips or a little bit higher. Make sure that top hip source kind of coming over. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. Lift the top knee and lower. Straight away, you should get it around the back of the bum, not hip flexor, right? Breathing out left, breathing in lower. Still thinking here about the core, so pulling in. Four more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Straightening out the legs in. Use that front of the mat. Get yourself nice and long, no bananas. Lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg. Rib cage. Take that arm up and over. And release. Lift, lift, rib cage. Take it over. And release. 2 more. Left, rib cage. Oh. I did have that, so I had that COVID jab yesterday. I'm really noticing my balance is so strange today. Lift, lift, rib cage. I don't know if anyone else found that. Take it over. And release. Top leg then, hip height. Flex the foot. Kick forwards. Let's get to 90. Feel the hamstrings. Point the toe, bring it back. And again. Let's do a few more of these. Extend forward, side kick. Point, go back. Try not to let the hips really kind of move on that one. So we don't want the hips to be quite still. So we're working through the range on the hips and we're really working into the hamstrings. Still pulling in that TVA. Adding in if you want, hands behind head. 3 more. Bring in your twist if it suits you. Opening out the chest. Last one. Okay, so now we're going to go on to our backs. So get yourselves comfy. We're gonna, yeah. So knees, feet hip width apart. Maybe a little pelvic tilt. Find yourself in neutral spine. Get the length at the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders. So we're going to go for our classic 5 sets. So we'll do a warm-up set and then we'll go for 5. So pelvic floor in, TVA in. And we're going to go 4 toe taps. Lifting one leg up and lower. And lift. And lower. 2 more. Hips are still. And lower. And lift. And lower. Lift the head and shoulders, look towards the knees. Tummy is still pulsing up and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the hands up to the knees. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing it back down. Okay, so 5 sets then. If you want to go up a gear, one leg to tabletop, other leg to tabletop. 4 toe taps. Here we go. 4 and 3. Thinking about imprinting here. So TVA pulled in. 2 and 1. Lift and pulse. Tummies are still. No wobbles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening legs. Let's reach. Ribs to hips. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Palms up, shoulders relaxed. 4 toe taps. 4 and 3. Imprinting. 2 and 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening out those legs and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Palms up, shoulders relaxed. If you're getting your chin going up to the ceiling, just get a cushion placed at the back of the head. 4 toe taps. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reaching up. Ribs to hips. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. 2 more sets. It's looking good. Thinking about imprinting here. So tummy button down to the mat. 4 toe taps. 4 and 3, 2. Are you breathing? And 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Stay strong in the wrists. 3, 2, 1. Lift and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Last time. Tabletops if we're there. 4 toe taps. 4 and 3. Where's that pelvic floor? 2 and 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening and reaching. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Take a full body stretch. Arms over the head. Yeah. Just point the toes, push the backs of the knees into the mat. So squeezing the quads, squeeze the glutes, pull your tummies in, press the backs of the shoulders down into the mat, the back of the head. Scrunch up your wrists, scrunch up your face. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out, just let all of those muscles go. Big relaxation. Take the feet so they turn out. Cactus out the arms. So from there, we're going to bend the knees, hands on hips, and it's a nice slow heel slide, 1 foot away, and then bringing it back up. Shoulders relaxed. Should have that length there at the back of the neck. As you slide, you're going to just keep those hips still. Don't let them micro tilt side to side. Think about imprinting, so tummy button pulled back towards the mat. So adding in here, you're just going to take palms together. We're going to draw that across and bring it towards the bent knee. So it comes up to the side of the bent knee, then we reset the shoulders down. And we're lifting back up. Breathe out as you lift. Really think pelvic floor and TVA pulling in. If you want a little bit more, tabletop it. So then you've got to think about imprinting that lower back down just a little bit more. Same move. Bring it across to that bent knee and then recenter. Breathing out left. Breathing in lower. Four more. Just keep squeezing on that TVA where that tummy button is. Last one. Placing those feet down there, arms up towards the ceiling. Turn the thumbs to the inside, palms to the outside. Lift up the shoulders, keep the back of the head on the mat. Twist it back down, press down the shoulders. And then we go again. Twist, lift. So that nice shoulder release and then pressing it back down. Now think about pelvic floor TVA. So check you're not pelvic tilting. Sometimes we go to shoulders and then the pelvis just slightly tilts. We lift at we arch and lift at the lower back. So just check you're starting to imprint here. So if you've got the space around you, what you're going to do is take out the lift, turn the palms out to the sides, take the arms over the head, and then just circle them all the way around the body back towards the knees. Now as your arms go over your head, just think about what's happening here with the chest. The ribcage might want to lift. And you're going to see if you can keep that ribcage down. So thinking about imprinting, that lower back doesn't lift up off the mat. So that's all pelvic tilt, pelvic floor and TVA. If you haven't got the space, you can literally take the arms back and bring the arms forwards. So if you can take a really long exhale with this, so if you're circling around or you're going back, maybe something like 8 seconds, nice and slow. Adding in if you want, you're going to imprint a little bit more, tabletop it, as the arms go over the head, lengthening out both legs. A lot of imprinting there, circling it all the way around. Breathe in, bend the knees. Breathing out, extend. And then reset. And breathe out, extend. 3 more. Focusing on that imprint. That tummy button, that TVA pulling in. Last one. Recenter, place the feet down, arms out to the side. Breathe out, let both knees drop across to one side. A nice slow spine twist. Looking in the other direction. So lower back release. Breathe in, recenter. Over to the other side. Maybe you feel the chest stretch. Really sink the shoulders into the mat. Maybe you feel the neck release. Adding in if you want, tabletop it. Breathe out, draw the knees across, and then you're just going to extend out to your corners of the room. So it's a really juicy hamstring IT band stretch. Try and keep those shoulders down, really feel the chest. 2 more. Last one, breathing out. So placing the feet down, we're going to take a hamstring stretch here. So one leg up to the ceiling. See what you can hold on to, so maybe the thigh or a little bit further. Try not to lift the head or the... I'm going to just spin around because the light's better. I can see you guys better. And try not to compromise all the posture stuff we've done earlier. Perhaps a little circle on the ankle. Other way around, just pressing behind at the back of the knee. Engage that hamstring. So focus here, hips being still, and think about the other knee being still. We're going to just take a small one leg circle. So you can always bend at the knee. If that feels too much with your legs straight, you can bend at the knee. It's almost like putting a bit of olive oil here in the hip joint. And just working nice and slow into that joint. The big focus here is on that other knee. So really think about maybe a cup of tea sitting on that other knee. We don't want to spill that cup of tea because that other knee will want to spiral too. And then if that other knee spirals, the hips, the pelvis moves. And we want to keep the hips, the pelvis still on this. Pelvic floor engaged, TVA engaged. Shoulders relaxed. Last one. Recenter, let's hamstring stretch on the other side. So one leg up to the ceiling, holding behind the hamstring, the thigh, or if you want a little bit higher. Again, just take your little circles there for your ankle. Notice if this other knee's like twisting out or you're kind of like screwing up your hips here or tilting around your hips to get into your hamstring stretch. You want to be nice and relaxed there in your hamstring stretch. Push your weight at the back of the knee. Check you're not holding your breath. And then we'll just go to that one leg circle again. So maybe the bent knee version was suiting you, or you want to take the leg straight. Focus on the other knee. Being nice and still. Hips aren't tilting side to side. Maybe hands on hips there. See what's happening. Try and keep those hips still up at a spirit level. I placed it on your hips. That bubble is going to be in the middle. And I really don't have a spirit level because I'm rubbish at DIY, so that won't be happening. Actually, I have to change a light bulb, and I have to do that tonight. And I don't have any idea how to do that. Probably shouldn't admit that. Last one, last circle. Bring the feet a bit closer to your bum. Keep the knees and the feet hip width apart. Just taking a pelvic tilt here. So if you've got a marble on your tummy, roll the marble up to the chin. Roll it back down towards the feet. It's like this massage here for the lower back. Shoulders are super relaxed. Chin shouldn't be pointing up to the ceiling. So again, if you need that cushion at the back of the head. You might feel like as you're doing your tilts, you really work with your pelvic floor. So it's a nice move just to get that engagement in there. And maybe you feel the TVA drawing in as the tummy button goes down towards the mat. Adding in there, we're slowly lifting up the hips to your shoulder bridge. It's like your ski slope from your knees to your shoulders. Take your arms up over your head. If you want more here, then you've got your single leg stretch. Hips are still. Extend one leg out. And then we can take the arms all the way back down with that leg extended. And then lift them back over. So we've been doing this the last few weeks. We've been doing 4 of these arms. Bring it down. Keep squeezing in the glute. Keep the hips still. If this feels like too much, then you're just going to go back to your shoulder bridge. Slowly lower it down. Go to your pelvic tilts. 2 more. Keep squeezing in that glute. Keep lifting up those hips as high as you can. Try not to let the shoulders wobble. Nice, good glute power move. Slowly lower yourself down. We'll reset and then we'll go to the other side. So pelvic tilt. Start to lift the hips as high as you can. Bring the arms up and over. If you're on that leg extension, extend. Get that squeeze in the glutes. Then you're working 4 times. Arms coming down. Arms lifting up. Shoulders down, away from ears here. We don't want the shoulders hunching up. Keep squeezing that glute, lifting up those hips. A little bit of engagement in that foot so the arch slightly lifted. Last one, this one's the hardest, right? Lift. Keep breathing. Lowering yourself all the way back down, nice and slow. Hug your knees into the chest. Perhaps a little circle or a rock side to side. I think some of my guests are coming in. They're going to wonder what's going on. Left the door open here. So if you're going to rock yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to work with our teasers a little bit. So knees, feet hip width apart. And we're going to take some little chest work and some little twists. So press down with the feet, engage through the toes. We're doing those half rainbows. So one arm lift up and over, touch the mat behind. Lift up, over, other side. Try not to let the knees pronate it out with this one. Think now, pelvic floor TVA. We're going to go down halfway. Like those old-fashioned deck chairs at the beach. Bring it back up. Again, working into those half rainbows. Nice little chest. Side twists. Back down halfway. Keeping that control. One more. Lifting up and over. So good for the breathing, the rib cage this. Over, other side. Halfway. Coming back up then, and then we're going to work into the lift. So one arm lift, one arm lower, other arm lift and lower. Now both arms lift. So really grip the toes onto the mat there and lower. Now halfway down. One arm left. Gripping those toes and the other arm left. Keep working with the core. If you want to take it, it's both arms left and lower. Stick with those versions, or if you want a little bit more now, one leg straight. One leg straight, so it's a half teaser, lift and lower and lift and lower. Double arm, lift and lower. Switch your legs. One arm left, lower, other arm left, and lower. Both arms left. So you can see where we're going here. So now we're going to go to our half teaser. Maybe this is enough, just holding this position. Think about lifting up the chest, take the shoulders back, right? If you want more, lift and lower. Other arm left and lower. Both arms and lift. Ooh. And lower. If you want a little bit more now, we're going full teasers. So we're up here, legs straight, working with balance. Okay, lift chest. You've always got all those versions we've been through, right? One arm left and lower. Other arm left. Lower. Both arms, it's there if you need it. And left. And lower. And release. Straighten out the legs in. Flex up the feet here. Breathing in, lift nice and tall. Breathing out, circle the arms down, around, touch the toes. Then place the hands by the hips. Stretching out after those teasers. Lifting up the hips. Lower that back down. Breathing in, lift nice and tall. Now we're going to go backwards, so circle the arms down and around. Coming back down to your full body stretch. If you've got the space.
No, it has to go up down.
Circle it around. Draw it back up to the top. Again, hip lift. So nice little bit of tricep. Bring it down. Breathe in, lift. Breathing out, we're coming forwards. So it's just a nice big combo, this. And again, hip lift. Lower, take it all the way back. Breathe in, lift. Breathing out, coming down. Circle it down towards the knees. And lift, this is your last one. Lift up the hips. And lower it down. How are we doing for time? Oh, gone over time slightly. First we'll come around there, let's spine twist. Start to finish off a little bit. So legs crossed, legs straight, whichever's comfy. Maybe if you need to sit on a cushion, we want to be nice and tall. Shoulders back, lift up the chest. Crown of the head going up towards the ceiling. The index fingers together, thumbs together. Underneath the chin into the sternum. Breathe in, get nice and tall. Breathing out, twisting over towards one of your knees. Breathing in, get tall. Breathing out, other side. Should feel it on the long strands of muscles either side of the spine. Each time you're getting nice and tall. This time then, so breathing, get tall, breathing out. You're just going to see if you're going to hug somebody just to the side of you, so opening out in the middle. Breathing in, get tall. Breathing out, open up. Strange, awkward hug. Breathing in, get tall. Breathing out, twist, open. 3 more. Hi.
Well,
Last one.
how's your class going?
Yeah, it's going really well. We've nearly finished.
What is it exactly you're doing?
Pilates.
I thought it might have been.
Legs nice and straight. Last one. Flex out the feet. Gonna take a big bowl of porridge and we're gonna stir that porridge to reach forwards. Feel it in and out of thigh, hamstring, maybe lower back. Reaching forwards. Other way around. Maybe touching toes, maybe not. Breathing out.
Well, they seem to be enjoying it. I'm sure it's doing them good.
Yes. Just a little shake out on the legs. Namaste, thank you very much.